99X in the Morning X. It's Barnes and Leslie. There is some technology a-coming. I mean, there's a couple things. The robo-cars are about to start at the beginning of the year in Atlanta. You've got Uber joining on board also with Waymo. You've got robots that have been, in the development pipeline for a while that are starting to show up. We're about to talk to a guy who lived with one of these robots for 2 days. I cannot wait to hear about this.
Hey, the Morning X podcast, available every day. It's fresh, too, from the day of. So if you ever miss Celebrity Sleaze, any of our true crime segments, or any of the really cool music news, like, for instance, Barnes did this great deep dive into the Nirvana dossier. Yeah, Tales from the Recording Studio back in '94. Check it all out wherever you listen to podcasts, the Morning X podcast.
Laugh all you want, but robots are coming. Tesla's had one in development. This company, 1X, has this new one called Neo, which we're about to meet here in this segment. And they are exponentially going to start rolling out over the next couple of years. You will have a friend that has a robot. And that friend, it may be me. This robot we're talking about is named Neo. And this is a humanoid robot that looks like a small person. But I want to first play a clip. This is one of the guys developing the robot talking about what happens, and this is going to be happening in households soon, what happens when they deliver it.
On day one, when we deliver the robot, the Neo will basically get a guided tour of your home. So you'll visit your living room, your kitchen, show where the rags are in the closet, and it'll just get a general spatial understanding of your home. From this, we'll train the ability to have it navigate autonomously in your home. And in terms of training the tasks autonomously, what we'll do is that once we have some data with human teleoperation doing tasks, we'll feed that into our data engine, where the robot can now start to predict what the human teleoperator would do for a given chore. With a bunch of these skills, like going to your fridge and opening a fridge and getting a drink out, we'll chain them together using another AI model that will basically allow us to stitch together a very long horizon set of skills. And that can accomplish things like doing some chores or fetching you a beer and so forth.
I'm so all over this. Please welcome Jason Carmen to the show. Hey, Jason, how are you?
Howdy, everyone. I'm doing well. How about yourselves?
They're doing great. Jason has a show called S3 on YouTube and X where you can catch very interesting episodes. That was a piece of one of the episodes. Dude, you lived with a robot?
I did, yeah. I have a cool job. I get to film cool things like that for a living. I'm very lucky.
How long did you live with the robot?
Well, realistically, it was about 2 days in my apartment, but we filmed with the robot for a number of days because we were also the production studio that they hired to make their announced video to the world, which is separate from our show. You can't pay to be on our show. So it felt like in actuality, it was quite a bit longer living with the robot, but in my apartment, it was only about 2.5 days.
When can people expect to start seeing these roll out? Like, just starting to show up if you want to order one, and how much is it?
Yeah, so I can't reveal the price of the robot.
Okay.
I don't work with the company 1X, but I do think they're planning to start shipping these things next year, and I think they say that in the video and in the releases, and I think they're going to have a lot more info soon. It's important to note, though, that like even if they do end up shipping next year, and hey, this is really hard technology, there's a chance they push it, that it won't be available for everyone. I think they're going to do a pretty closed beta, but then scale it up by a factor of 10 each year, meaning that in short order, if they have it their way and are successful, they'll keep building and keep scaling and start selling these robots into the home.
Now, this is a life-size robot. I watched the video, and I guess, first of all, Barnes, they want to get it into the home and get it acclimated. It's almost like having a child because you have to make sure that the whole environment is safe for the robot, first and foremost, correct?
I think in some ways, I think that the bigger thing with the robot is that a humanoid is a pretty advanced robotic system compared to, well, not pretty advanced. It is unsolved in many ways compared to other classical robotic systems. And so you sort of just need to be very patient. And the bigger thing is that the robot will hurt itself more than anything else.
Really?
Like, robots fall a lot. Yeah, especially ones that have bipedal humanoid walking, the way that we humans do. Turns out biology did a good job with our walking system, and we don't fall as much as we should. Versus when you put a robot and have legs, it's really easy for that thing to fall. And that's true of pretty much all humanoids who have bipedal legs. So that's the part that's more like risky. Like, yeah, maybe Neo or any other human robot you let in your home will break a glass or two. But Neo specifically is interesting compared to other humanoids like Tesla's Optimus or Figure's Figure 01 and 02, which we've also filmed with. Those are classical humanoid robots in the sense that they're using torque motor actuators that spin at a higher gear ratio compared to the force they're exerting, which means that if you're in the way of that thing and it doesn't have a way to stop, it can just go right through you. It's very dangerous. This is the issue with classical robots. Versus Neo is a tendon drive, meaning that if it hits you, it'll stop because the force is the same as what's being actuated on the motor.
I just wonder how many people are going to want to jump in. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a new thing. And how many people are going to want to get their own, R2-D2? I mean, C-3PO. It looks like it could be in Star Wars. I mean, this thing, did it ever just freak you out once you were alone with the robot just hanging out?
No, because I wondered that. The biggest thing I was interested in, everyone that I was filming with on my team was like, oh, is it going to be able to do your laundry? Can it make you coffee? Can it do all these tasks? And I was like, yeah. It will eventually, and sure can do some of it. The thing I was interested about is exactly what you said, is what's it going to make me feel like? And I had friends come and visit the robot. I had my roommates hang out with it. And everyone at the end of the day was like, wow, this is actually a very fun, cool experience, and didn't make anyone feel uncomfortable, which was surprising. Like, I think we at least expected that. But no, it was... Neo has quite a personality. He's funny. I think the way he moves and the way he interacts is interesting and funny. And I didn't find it odd at all or weird.
I watched your video and I saw, Neo handing you things as you were making breakfast, which I thought was really cool. Do you think a lot of people, Jason, would want this robot just for companionship?
I think actually that would be quite a big part of it. I mean, you have a lot of the advanced LLM AI models like ChatGPT where you can talk with them now, and they're new models, and it works really great. You put that on a humanoid that can do stuff and hand you things. It's like, that's totally a huge part of it.
I have part of the conversation, Leslie, that you're referencing. Here is Neo, and Neo is with Jason in the kitchen, and he's making something, whatever, and Neo is standing by. What I noticed is Neo doesn't really have any emotion, right? He's just saying things to you. He's telling you, you ask him a question, and he talks to you. But listen to it. This is Neo in action. And is you in an apartment, a loft? What do you live in?
Yeah, it's my apartment in San Francisco.
All right, here he is.
Neo, can you get me the peppers and mushrooms? Thanks, sir. Neo, I'm curious, how should I cook these bell peppers?
Saute them with a bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, done in minutes.
Neo, can you tell me a joke?
Why did the Scarecrow become a successful motivational speaker?
I'm not sure.
Because he was outstanding in his field.
Okay, yeah, that was a little predictable.
So, just
Neo told a joke.
Will Neo learn more about, your personality, or is it just you're a space that it learns?
So it's important to note that actually isn't Neo's voice. That is the voice of GPT-4o from OpenAI.
Oh.
They're actually training custom models that will be quite a bit more capable and different. It's not to say that GPT-4o from OpenAI is incapable, but it's not exactly tailor-made for Neo. So that model will have embedding with the world space, like you're saying, that it understands your space. And it'll be way more, I think, customizable and characterizable.
Oh, wow.
And also, it's important to mention, we cut down the total conversation to about 1/10. Like the conversation I had with Neo was much longer.
Okay.
But we cut it down quite a bit. Yeah.
I think it's just interesting hearing you interact with a machine,
Right.
I mean,
Barnes, can you imagine talking football with Neo?
right, you're like, hey, dude, we're going to watch the game today. And he starts learning all the, the players' names, and eventually he's like, Arch
He's an
Manning
expert.
had a great game. Yeah, no, it's kind of funny.
It's funny, too, because it's like you can imagine you're having a buddy over, Barnes, and then they're like a fan of, what team are you?
Texas Longhorns, #1. That would be us.
Texas Longhorns. And they're playing against like the Steelers maybe or something. And you're like, all right, Neo, I need you to...
Oh, well, that'd be bad.
Just statistically tear apart my buddy who's coming over because he's a fan of the Steelers. I need you to... And, he'd just be so much fun. And then the whole time I was like, man, why is your robot just so mean and won't shut up about the Steelers' loss record? Whatever it would be. I think there could be a lot of fun there.
Steelers a bad example because it's NFL, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, I get your point. And I like the idea that you can set Neo up to have a little fun with whoever's coming over.
Yeah.
I was very excited when I saw Neo folding laundry, Barnes. I was like, okay,
this is very
where's
cool.
Neo in my life?
Give out your website so people can go check out the video. I mean, S3 is the name of your show on YouTube and X, but where can people find more info about you and what you do?
jasoncarmen.com. New personal website coming soon. So, yeah.
Nice. All right, dude. Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Likewise. Thanks, guys. This was fun.
That robot could be coming to your living room sooner than you think. It's called Neo. It's a new humanoid robot.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie. 99X.